Happy Happy Wednesday. We are here to cook you a meal, and this is going to be delicious. I've made it before. It's kind of a riff on shepherd's pie, and it is so good. Everybody loves it. It's also easy to make it vegetarian or vegan. I don't make all my husband's meals with meat, but I certainly make most dinners with meat. So I'm going to make him a meat shepherd's pie and one that is, you're showing. Here, I'm gonna put my hand in front of you. So I'm gonna make one meat shepherd's pie and one So I'm gonna make one meat shepherd's pie and one veggie shepherd's pie, and it's very, very simple, easy to make, always tastes good. Let's go. You're going to add your carrots, celery, green onions, and yellow onion together with a little bit of salt and a little bit of oil. I'm using avocado oil, and we're just gonna saute this for a little bit until the veggies get tender. Then you're just going to go ahead and put your cauliflower and 1 or 2 sweet potatoes, or regular potatoes, you can use whatever, into a big pot of boiling water, and you're going to boil until they're nice and tender and able to be mashed really well. I took out 2 pans. The smaller one's going to be for my husband and the bigger one's going to be for the kids and I. And I just sprayed it with pan spray and I layered the vegetables. Then, because I like to consolidate the pans, I put these chickpeas in the pan that we had the vegetables in. I really wanted to have 2 15-ounce cans of garbanzo beans, but I just have 1. So I think what I'm gonna do is just get some nuts all ground up and add them to the chickpea mixture. And I've taken 1 cup of walnuts and add them to this food processor. Once I have these shredded really well, I'm going to add them to the garbanzo beans, because that's going to be like the meat substitute kind of aspect of this dish. And here's the texture. Okay, so I'm adding these crushed walnuts to the chickpea mixture. I've got it on about medium heat, and I'm going to add a tablespoon of avocado oil and just simmer it until the chickpeas are a little bit more tender. And then I can kind of smush them a little bit with a potato masher. Now this has been cooking for a little bit. The walnuts are getting a little bit crispy while the chickpeas are getting a little bit softer. And I'm going to add some cumin. Almost a whole tablespoon. I really like that flavor, and I think it gives anything kind of that meat flavor. Kids are upstairs playing Jenga. It is lively. And then I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt and saute this just a little bit more. Now that the salt and cumin have had a chance to kind of incorporate with this mixture a little bit, I'm going to turn the heat off. Ooh, that was Jenga. And then I'm going to take, hang on, I gotta switch hands. I'm going to take a potato masher and just a little bit work on these garbanzo beans. And after I mashed it for a little bit, this is how it looks. There aren't really hardly any whole garbanzo beans anymore. If there are, they're just like a little bit of a piece to it. But it looks like ground beef. So I'm going to add this to this pan, and then I'm going to get some ground beef and cook that and throw it in my husband's pan. I added our garbanzo bean walnut mixture to this pan. I drained the cauliflower and sweet potato and added 6 tablespoons of Smart Balance butter, which is actually vegan. Here it is. It's very tasty. And I'm sauteing some ground beef. I'm just gonna add a little cumin and a little bit of salt to that and keep sauteing it until it's done. I used the potato masher and I mashed up the cauliflower and the sweet potato, but I'm gonna actually use this Cuisinart Smart Stick to blend this a little bit better. I do not use this power stick with regular potatoes because it makes the potatoes like glue, but this will work for cauliflower very well. This is how I usually do it. Okay, so I added the ground beef to this pan, and this is the vegan pan all done. I'm just gonna add the potatoes to this pan, and then I'm going to bake for about 15 minutes on 375. And here are both pans ready to go in the oven. So this is the finished product. Here is the veggie shepherd's pie. I actually baked it 375 for 20 minutes. I just kind of wanted the top to be a little bit of this crunchy stuff. I don't know if you can see, just a little bit more like a crust, I guess. And here is the meatler version. Looking good. Are you excited, buddy?
Yes.
Okay. So
Mommy's food are always good.
So that's all she wrote for tonight. We are going to get started on dinner and get these little ones in bed, right?
No.
Okay, have a wonderful night. We will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.
It's the end of the night, but I just wanted to check in one last time and tell you how delicious that meal was. I typically will use like a meat substitute in the frozen section, like Gardein or Boca or something that's vegetarian. And I've never used the garbanzo beans and the walnuts. It's just something new that I wanted to try, and it was so good. I will never use a meat substitute again from the freezer. I will always make my own. It was so tasty. That's all, signing off.